Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. Let me know what I can do to help you. Okay, so I'm going to open your eyes to something that you probably have heard a million times, but it went right over your head, and it was used to manipulate you out of your dreams by you-know-who, jealous people and narcissists. Now, I was in the fight game for quite a long time. I got started in martial arts when I was a kid, points fighting, and then I got into boxing, became a state champion, then I got into high school wrestling, went to the state championship, wrestled Division II at Chico State when they were 5-time national champions, and then after that I got into kickboxing, also played football in high school and 1 year in college, etc., etc. And the one thing I heard is, hey Mikey, this is the fight game. Now I'm going to add something after the boxing part that applies to you in everyone's life. So they talk about the fight game and how hard it is, and most people think, and I did too when I first heard it, like, yeah, you got to spar every day, get punched in the face every day, get kicked. I was in kickboxing at the time, and it's a very, very painful sport, boxing and kickboxing and wrestling and football. This is the guy, Jacob Stitz Duran, the #1 cut man in the world, who said this to me when I was probably about 20, 21 years old. So for the longest time, I thought they were talking about the fight game, like, hey man, this is the fight game, it's a tough game. And I really thought they were talking about the training, the bumps, the bruises, the injuries, the physical pain of getting kicked and punched and hit. And that's not what they meant. They were talking about the backstabbing, the mind games, the manipulation, the lies, the treachery, your own coaches setting you up for failure, betting against you, your own teammates jealous because you're doing better than them, and purposely doing things to screw you over, screwing your diet over, even your own family. I'll tell you what my mother used to do before I'd go to practice. Now, I didn't know this for the longest time. I'd show up to practice and I'd be exhausted. I'm like, I don't understand. Like half an hour ago, I was wide awake. My mother was putting NyQuil in water or some kind of drink. And here, Mike, drink some of this before practice. Oh, okay, Mom. I didn't find out till my younger sister told me years later, like, Mom was putting NyQuil in your drinks before, when you would eat dinner before you go off to practice. And I was like, what the fuck? She used to put stuff in my food that would upset my stomach, like all kinds of stuff. And I found out these years later when my family told me. And that's the thing. That's the fight game. It's everyone, pretty much everyone is against you. The very people that you think are on your side are the very people that are your #1 enemies. I'm sure over the years you've heard this. You've heard stories about professional boxers or football players or athletes, how their wife set them up, or how this person did this, or their mother or their brother or their own coach, the coach in the ring. I can't remember the boxer's name, but years ago, decades ago, there was a boxer whose coach in the ring, in the corner, put something in his water that he was drinking before and in between rounds that would make him either dehydrate or made him drowsy. I guarantee you, if you're eating food and you always get sick or always get upset stomach or you always feel tired, I guarantee you somebody is putting something in your food, especially if you're going to the same place, such as your mother, you live with your family. Somebody's doing some bullshit. If it happens more than once, it is not a coincidence. They're doing it on purpose, especially if you're going after your dreams. I don't care if you're playing high school football, you're a professional athlete. You have got to wisen up. Don't trust people. The Bible, God literally says, trust no man, which means men or women. Now, here's the deal. I just thought, oh, well, that's the boxing game. It's a real tough life. That's what you hear. Life is the fight game. It's not just boxing and kickboxing or fight sports. Every job you'll ever have, everywhere you go, everything you do, the people you surround you with. This is the fight game. It's not just if you're a competitive fighter. Even though the people that told me, like, hey, you know, the fight game, meaning boxing or kickboxing, it's a tough life, Mikey. You know, you got to keep your eyes open. You got to this, and it's not. They did mean well, but in my brain, I thought, oh, it's just like these sports or you know, you got to be very careful. No, it kind of gave me a blind spot because I thought, well, once I'm done with boxing and kickboxing, then I'll go into regular life. Regular life is the same. It is the fight game. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. Open your eyes. Stop going through life blind. It will never help you. But if you go through life paying attention and having open eyes, you're going to do a lot better. I guarantee it. And be willing to walk away from anybody that does anything to you in a negative manner. Now here's another side of this a lot of you may have not figured out yet. I remember in high school and college, I remember the teachers going, oh, you can't be a professional football player. You can't be a professional baseball player or basketball player. That's impossible. You should try to be a surgeon, a neurosurgeon. You should try to be a medical doctor. You should try to be a scientist. Do you know how, I'm going to cuss. Do you know how fucking hard it is to be a brain surgeon, a heart surgeon, or an orthopedic surgeon? Do you know how hard that is and how many people drop out? Because that's what they'll say about professional athletes, like only 1% of whatever makes it to the pros. Well, how many people do you think become a brain surgeon? How many people do you think become an orthopedic surgeon or a heart surgeon or a lung surgeon or whatever? Do you know how many people fail the grade? Do you know how many people fail the test? Do you know how many people just flat out drop out because it's so damn hard? It's not easy to do any profession. Now, I have a genius IQ, and I will tell you something. It was much easier for me to compete in boxing and kickboxing than it was to go and try to be a heart surgeon or a brain surgeon or a neurosurgeon or a shoulder or orthopedic surgeon. And I was a straight A student, almost my entire 12 years in elementary, middle school, high school, and college. I had a couple off semesters, but for the most part, I was an extremely good student. My point being is, when you get these teachers in English class, like in college, and they're like, oh, you're never going to be a professional football player. I remember looking at this teacher, because she was saying this to this student sitting next to me. He was a big guy, and he was number one in the nation at his position. And I'm looking at her like, what are you talking about? He's the best in the world at his position. If anyone's going to make it, he's going to make it. And here she is killing his dream, and she's being adamant. Because here's the deal. She doesn't know who the hell she's talking about. She doesn't follow the team. She doesn't know that he's the starter. She doesn't know anything. She doesn't even know that the team he's on is ranked number 7 in the nation. By the way, he did go pro in the NFL. And so did my buddy's son. He starts for the Oakland Raiders. He's their starting tight end. Bowers, Bowers, Oakland Raiders. Look him up. A friend that I played with in high school, Sean LaChapelle, played with Joe Montana at the Kansas City Chiefs. A lot of people that I competed with and sparred against in practice turned pro and won a lot of money in kickboxing and boxing. When you win $250,000 for a fight, that's a pretty good chunk of change. Sure, you weren't Mike Tyson or De La Hoya or whoever, but you're winning $250,000 for a fight, pretty damn good if you ask me. Those guys made way more than orthopedic surgeons, okay? So here's the deal. There's another thing that someone said to me, because I was like, I don't understand, like my family, like I won a state champion in boxing, I won in wrestling, I won in football, I was 2-time national champion in racing, I've done this, I've done that. Like, why is it that they don't understand that when I put my mind to something, I can do it. I'm going to do it. They always say, oh, you don't know how to do that. Like in boxing, like, well, you've never boxed before. And I remember looking at my brother going, well, yeah, that's why I'm going to go to practice and learn. Like, I remember thinking, like, what an idiot. Of course I've never done it before, but you got to start somewhere. So this was actually an energy healer, and she looked at me, she said, that's because they don't know what you have inside you. I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, well, in their mind, like, you're my brother. We grew up under the same roof, same food, same parents, same everything. What makes you think you can be a champion in boxing when I can't do it? Because she's like, they look at themselves like, well, I can't do it, so that means that you can't do it. But it was more than that. It was just flat out jealousy. It was a bunch of mind games. And that is the fight game. It's not boxing, it's not kickboxing, it's not wrestling, it's not sports, it's life. I guarantee if I said, oh, I'm going to go to college and be a doctor, I guarantee, oh, you can't do that. What makes you think you could do that? It's because they're jealous. Stop listening. I'm going to tell you something right now. Your cutoff game has got to be precision. You've got to master it. What do I mean? Someone starts talking smack like that, walk away. Don't even say anything. Just boom, walk away. They're like, oh, shit. And you know what they're going to learn real fast? Like, oh, shit, I can't talk that way to them. Life becomes a lot easier when you stop listening to idiots like that. I'm telling you, you will go much further when you get rid of those people. If you need professional coaching, I have over 51 certifications in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, Ericksonian hypnosis. I'm a master practitioner of Ericksonian hypnosis, master practitioner of timeline therapy, Reiki, Huna, pranic healing, HNLP, and a bunch of other things. I studied psychology in college at Arizona State, and on and on and on. I have coached professional boxers, kickboxers, collegiate wrestlers. When I say coach, I mean using psychological techniques to help them get over their barriers and their restrictions and whatever's holding them back. This is Tony Sanzo with his daughter, professional mixed martial artist. I worked with Tony more than 15, maybe 20 years ago. He had a mental block. He was a phenomenal fighter, but he kept losing because he had a mental block. Once we got rid of that, he won every fight from there on out. I've spoken at Hewlett-Packard 4 times. I've worked with executives, one-on-one coaching at Hewlett-Packard, real estate agents, and on and on. If you have a mental block, if something's holding you back, if you need to learn communication skills, influence skills, etc., get a hold of me at mike@mikekollin.com. You can also call me at 415-235-2512. Men, remember my book, Cracked Female Code, normally $60, is on sale right now for $29 for the month of April. Go to mikekollin.com. This is Mike Kollin, and let me know what I can do to help you. Bye.